Welcome, race fans, to the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the Quick Finishers Racing League. This is the Get Out and Vote 250. Be sure and get out and vote there on at least by Tuesday, folks. It is your privilege to be able to do that as an American. Be sure and get out there and get that done. But for tonight, we're going to run here 161 laps around the Homestead Miami Speedway. I am your host, David Hillbilly Hara. In the booth with me, as always, David Lafano. David, here we are in beautiful Miami, Florida.
Yeah, weather's great for racing down here. It looks, at least on my screen. What about yours?
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. Sky's nice and blue. Just a couple clouds in the sky, not much to it. But glad to be back down here in the very far south, down in Florida, for today's race. Again, this is the second race of the round of 8, so giving drivers just this opportunity right here and next week to either win their way into the Final Four or point their way in. Speaking of which, for this 1.48 mile track, going to try to get around here, and track temperature's about 108 degrees. Going to be a little bit slick out here today, but let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings as they sit, with Kenneth Pack, I believe, was our winner last week. No, I take that back. Who was our winner last week? Was Robinson. Gregory Robinson got his first victory here in QFRL last week. But Kenneth Pack holding on to the points lead for the moment. Let's go ahead and display that on screen for you folks at home so you can see where your favorite driver in the top 8 is at this point in this playoff round. Kenneth Pack is your points leader, followed by Zoltan Nudge. Just a handful of points. Looks like 12 points behind. Michael Kerjelak in third there, 3,555 points. Curtis Sauburn with 3,554. Now, what you're really going to want to pay attention to, folks, is that cut line. Everybody below that's in red is currently out of the Final Four. They need to get either advanced by points or by a win here today. Now, if, let's say, Tommy Osborne or James Bowden or one of those guys wins that's below that cut line, that's going to shove Curtis Sauburn down below it, or possibly Michael Kerjelak, as they're only separated by 1 point here in this very tight race for the Final Four, Dave.
Yeah, we're getting down to it. Unfortunately, a few of those drivers behind the cut line, I'm not seeing them in the field tonight, but never know. We still got a little bit of time here. Maybe they'll join in on the festivities. But yeah, it's real tight at that cut line, especially between Sauburn and Nelson.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Now, here at Homestead, Dave, a lot of guys like to run that top just inches off the wall all the way around here. And there's some benefits to that. It's very, very fast up there. It's pretty much slick everywhere around this track, especially on exit. So if you're up against that wall and you get a little slide, you could quickly find yourself touching the wall. That's okay sometimes. I find here at Homestead that when the rear end touches the wall, the front end is soon to follow. And when that happens, it just sucks you in and holds you to the wall there for a good stretch here at Homestead.
Yeah, Homestead, it's a unique track, really. I mean, it's a kind of a shame we only run here once a year. You're going to see multiple lanes around this racetrack. It makes for some good racing, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of slick, I was talking to one of the drivers during the practice session yesterday about this track and what it's like around here and what the conditions are like once it gets slick. Let's go ahead and take a listen to QFRL's very own Kenneth Pack, points leader Kenneth Pack. Here we go.
And once it's got that wear and you've got those tires heated up, you've got to be able to drive a loose race car.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that is one thing over the years that since I've been on iRacing, I've had to learn to do.
Yeah, that's Kenneth Pack, letting us know that driving a loose race car is one thing he's had to learn to do, especially here once the tires get hot. We were also discussing in that interview a little bit about running the low line. Now, Kenneth, he likes to run that high line right up against the wall. He says when he gets down on that bottom, it really wants to get loose on him, and that's a very, very uncomfortable feeling when the car gets away from you, especially if you're down low, because it's you're carrying a head of steam up toward that wall. During that discussion, I also said to Kenneth, I said, well, I like to run the low line because then it gives me more time to hit those brakes before hitting the wall. But I guess it's it's kind of one way or the other, right? You're going to hit it one way or the other. Qualifier practice is wrapping up here. Qualifying getting ready to get underway here at Homestead, Miami. Take a look at the practice times. We only have 10 drivers in the field tonight. Curtis Auburn was your fastest in practice. Michael Kurgelak second. Kenneth Pack third. James Nelson in fourth. Chris Essery is fifth. Zulu was sixth with Eric Thornton in seventh. Eighth was James Bowden. Ninth, Tyrone Yo. And Dustin Matney rounds out your top 10 on speeds in practice. But qualifying about to get fired up and rolling here as we see some cars starting to roll out on track now. We'll bring you those laps as they come around. So we see Tyrone Yo out on track in that number 2 Mobil 1 Chevrolet. He's also rocking the vote here today as well. Go vote. This is the Get Out and Vote 250 at Homestead as Tyrone Yo makes his first lap. Got Michael Kurgelak out on track and the number 19 Buck Kicker Ford entry.
Yeah, we got a couple drivers back that have been missing in action for a little bit. Chris Essery is back after kind of a long stint away. When Chris was here running, he was kind of lights out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he could do any wrong while on track. So we see Tyrone Yo cross at a 31.80 or 34.82. Essery times in at a 33.71, so almost a second quicker than Yo's lap on Essery's first lap there. Kurgelak comes around to finish up his first lap. Move Kurgelak to P2 with a 33.93. So we see James Nelson in the number 75 Auto Serve machine. Auto Serve, check them out if you're in the Charlestown, West Virginia area. That's Charlestown, West Virginia, not Charleston. Go get your vehicle serviced at Auto Serve. As we see James Nelson time in with a 34 flat, an 090. Sauburn with a 34.044. Tyrone Yo unable to pick up any on his second lap there. James Nelson coming around to take his second lap. Not seeing a time on that lap. Must have got a little piece of the wall there as Zulu has timed in his first lap. Will be fifth quickest at a 34.28. Yet to see Kenneth Pack. He's now out on track. That's your points leader, Kenneth Pack. Out on track. He's the gentleman that was giving us the information about a loose car here in at Homestead and in iRacing in general. I find that a lot of the iRacing setups, the fixed setups especially, are extremely tight race cars. But he's right here at Homestead. I think Las Vegas is another example of a track that tends to get a little bit loose. Kenneth Pack jumps to P2 with a 33.70. Dustin Matney with a 34.40. Coming around to take his final lap now. Looks like Eric Thornton has joined the field. Currently out on track in the number 88 Chevrolet. He's another quick driver here in this series. Unfortunately for Thornton, had missed a couple of races which dropped him out of the top 8. So he's currently 9th in points. Thornton's first lap will time in. Drum roll, please. 34.03. That'll be fifth quickest. It's his first lap on time. Must have had an issue on the first lap out and didn't get scored for that first lap, I don't guess. So, nonetheless, James Bowden electing not to take a time here. So once the time runs out, we'll get these cars gridded up and get ready to start this thing up. Let's go ahead and jump over to our pre-race national anthem and get that done, and we'll be right back with you in just a second. You won't miss a thing.
Please rise if you're able and remove your hat as the United States Navy Band performs our national anthem.
All right, as the cars roll off, huge shout out to the United States Navy Band on their rendition of our national anthem. Chris Essery is your pole sitter. Starting on that front row is Kenneth Pack on the outside lane. Curtis Salburn starts row 2 in third with Michael Kerjelak in fourth. Eric Thornton will start fifth with James Nelson in the sixth position. Starting row 4 inside, Dustin Matney with Zulu to his outside in eighth. Tyrone Yo and James Bowden round out the 10 cars in tonight's field.
Yeah, like we said, there's just 2 races remaining here in the round of 8 to settle it out and find out who the final 4 will be going to Phoenix. So a lot on the line here tonight as the pace car is up.
Green flag is in the air. Number 22 of Chris Essery gets a nice decent jump at the 16, able to hold on strong on that outside where he wants to be on that outside line. Now the 22 is going to drive away on the bottom just a bit. 16 now be under fire by Curtis Salburn, and the number 54 going to have to duck up in line behind the 16 pack.
You get the 88.
Oh, we got a crash.
Low line.
I was hearing carnage, but I guess that wasn't. Maybe a little wall scrape going on there.
Yeah, I think the 16 and the 54 both were on the wall there, kind of second forward. Yeah, Thornton making that bottom line work as he's trying to overtake the 16 to Kenneth Pack for that second position as they work into turn number 3.
Yeah, he's got a little help by the 75. You know, the draft will help you a little bit here. I mean, it's not like the much bigger tracks, but you know, this track almost right at a mile and a half. Momentum is your biggest friend, but you know, a car working with you can help you push by another car as well. So we see the field come around through turns 1 and 2. Some more wall scraping happening there, Dave.
Yeah, we're gonna see that all night long. You see the 16 pack getting a good run off the top side. We're about lap 3 in, so the tires are getting up to temperature, up to pressure. They're going to start getting a little bit better here.
Oh, as the 16 is sideways. Now 3 wide, they touch. Everybody holds on to it, though. Big slide for Kenneth Pack. Able to reel that car back in, though. Man, I thought it was over with at that point. Great save. Oh, another car into the wall. Now the 75 taking evasive action as the 88 was up hard into the outside wall. Chris Esri is looking in his mirror thinking, no cautions, let me just drive away with this thing.
Nelson, so he's kind of loving what's going on behind him at the moment, working lap 5.
Folks, we're going to step away from the action for just a quick second, but we'll be right back with you. Hold on just a second here. All right, we're back here with you live. Sorry about that, folks. I was trying to get the racing volume down a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm already in session, and it didn't seem to affect it any when I turned it down. Let me try to find a little bit different camera, maybe, so it's not quite as loud. Running a new PC tonight. I tried to get everything set up, and unfortunately, I don't think I got it exactly the way I needed it. Chris Esri still holding on to a massive lead.
Yeah, James Nelson able to cut into that lead just a little bit.
Hey, Dave, if you could check your messages there for me real quick, buddy. I appreciate it. You're watching the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series right here on SimWorld Racing Network. This is the Get Out and Vote 250. Be sure to vote for the best candidate there is, whoever that might be for you and your wallet. Grab a friend, take them along with you. Oh, as we see the 75 up and into the wall hard. I know there's a preset for that. I'm just not sure what it is. Lefano?
I'm looking.
Textures here real quick because you saw the cars get white. That's something that I did there as I was informed my trading paints wasn't working, although it loaded up and downloaded all the paints, but I don't see the 22 has a paint.
Yeah, I'm showing the 22 as the yellow fellow car, but not on the live stream.
I'll see if I can take care of that over here to the side as well. I did load this just before, but I did have to get out of session, so that could have caused the issue. And of course, it's not going to be that easy. We're on lap 14 of 161 here in the Get Out and Vote 250. 161 laps here at this 1.45 or 48 mile track. Eric Thornton currently down a lap. I'm not sure what happened to Thornton. So we're going to reload the textures one more time as it just finished re-downloading. Actually, it's still trying to download, so we'll wait just another second here.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm going to take a look back and see Thornton.
You know, I think it's getting a little confused. I see what's happening. I can turn that off. That's all right. Chris Esri is your leader, followed by Kenneth Pack, regaining that second position. James Nelson falls back to third with Michael Kerjelak in fourth. Curtis Sovereign in the fifth spot. Sixth is James Bowden. Seventh is Zulu. Eighth is Dustin Matney. Tyrone Yo in ninth. And in 10th, one lap down, is the 88 of Thornton.
Looks like Thornton caught the wall and had to come down and use a fast repair. He must have had a meatball flag. Like he had a broken right front suspension.
That's unfortunate. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Trading Pace having issues here. Trying to get it fixed on the fly here is nothing has really changed throughout the field. James Nelson and Michael Kerjelak battling for that third spot. Now, they've now caught Kenneth Pack. They're actually going to battle for P2 here.
Yeah, James Nelson kind of caught the wall there. 16 to Kenneth Pack comes off the wall into Kerjelak.
Oh. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Sorry about this, folks. Want to get the paints right before it's over with. Looks like
Yeah,
we're...
a few setup issues. New PC, you get it?
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, and it's still trying to do it, unfortunately. Don't know that it's going to get straight. It's actually trying to download from... a different install location, so that's all right. We're just gonna have to keep it the way it is, folks. Sorry about that. We'll get her fixed by next week for sure.
Yeah, we have a battle for the second position going on between James Nelson, Kenneth Pack, and Michael Kerjelak, all battling here for the second spot.
Yeah, Pack, who's usually good on the long run, has lost one now, maybe two. Okay, we'll make that one now. Spot to James Nelson. He lost a lot of time to these guys. They caught up with him, and then I thought they were going to get away. But Kenneth able to battle back here, just not letting the 75 get away from him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if one will end at lap 48. Not sure if these drivers can make it all the way on fuel. So that's something to kind of pay attention to here as we move through this.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, very interesting. All right.
Chris Essery now out to 3 seconds over James Nelson and Michael Kerjelak. In fact, they're still battling for that second position.
Yeah, they're starting to pull away now a little bit from the 16 as we see him get loose again off of the corner. Saw the rear end kind of step out there on him a little bit. These guys still hit hot and heavy battle for P2. So we're rounding lap 27 of the 48 in stage 1. Now, Dave, I believe these guys are probably going to short pit here and get some tires. I think maybe that's what the 75 might be. I saw him go low on the track, and I hadn't been seeing him go down there much, but see what he does here. He's usually the first to pit road.
And it does look like
he's coming, yeah. 75 down for his pit stop, first pit stop of the sequence here. I called that one right in time. I mean, I called it in 1 and 2, but still yet. Curtis Sauber follows him down. Curtis got a lot of damage to the right front of that vehicle.
I think Curtis has found the wall a few times here.
Yeah, right side's going up on the 75. I imagine they're going to take 4 tires here and full tank of fuel and roll this thing on out to lap 48. That's going to have like 19 to go, 20 to go for these guys. Essery still on track as Michael Kerjelak comes down. Kenneth Pack comes down. James Bowden is down. Zulu is down. See if Essery comes down this time by. Going to jump on board with Essery as he makes his entry to pit road here. If he doesn't, he's coming down the back stretch now. We'll see if he starts getting heavy on those brakes. No, he's not going to pit yet.
So right now it looks like Essery, Yo, and Matney yet to pit on this sequence.
So that's put the first car 1 lap down is going to be Eric Thornton, but that's because he came down quite a bit earlier than everybody else. Now, he was down on lap 5, so I don't think that 5 laps is enough for him to make it the whole way, so he's still going to have to come down again. But currently the
And
first
he's
car
coming
one lap
now.
done as Matney's down on pit road as we speak as well. Thornton on his way in. So as long as this cycles around under the green flag, then Thornton will still be okay to get his lap back at the end of the stage.
Still waiting on Essery to make his pit stop.
So Dave, I was
Here
so
he
happy.
comes now.
I was so happy that I got that darn OneDrive working, and unfortunately, that's where it saves my trading paint data for the other machine, and it's confusing trading paints. So that's exactly why it's not downloading the paint. I mean, it's downloading them. It's just not putting them where this iRacing screen will access it. So I'll have to get that straightened out.
Essery's in. It looks like right side's up. It's going to be a 4-tire stop, I believe, for Essery.
Yo is now your leader, still on track. He's yet to come down for his pit stop.
Essery's leading pit road now.
So Tyrone Yo, the only car, well, he's not the only car on the lead lap. As I don't think, yeah, it doesn't look like, well, actually they did too. Take that back. Tyrone Yo, the only man, he wants a caution right now. Let those guys have a few laps on their tires when they take the wave around and he comes in to get 4 freshies. We're going to see just how far he can go on fuel here. We're on lap 34 now, folks. I'm thinking you could probably go, 36 to 38 laps, maybe 40 here. But you're not going to make it 48. Tyrone Yo is in. Tyrone Yo comes down to make his way into his pit box here, folks. First gear, keeping it right there on the speed limit. As we see, I believe it was Essery just went blowing by there, but it did look like a different color car, so nope, wasn't Essery. There he is. Would have been the 12 of Matney we were seeing. So here's what's interesting for Thornton. Matney's not that far from going a lap down here. So Matney's at the start-finish now, and we're following along with our leader crossing now. So, yeah, not a real big gap between these guys. Now, Michael Kerjlak, after those sequence pit stops, is only a few car lengths, like 4 to 5 car lengths back of the 22. James Nelson is in 3rd position. Kenneth Pack is in 4th. Curtis Saubert in 5th. 6th, you have Zulu. James Bowden 7th. Tyrone Yo cycles out in 8th. Dustin Matney, like you say, just now a half a straightaway, maybe just a bit more than a half a straightaway ahead of the 22, our leader.
Yeah, we're coming to about 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Looks like Matney, yeah, about 20, showing about 28 seconds behind, so that's just a little ways ahead of Essery here.
Yeah, and Essery can't afford to back off any. I mean, he's only a half a second, 6/10 now in front of this 19 of Kerjlak. So it's not like he can just kind of, take it easy and back off his pace to allow that 12 to stay on the lead lap. He's going to have to keep letting her eat. Yeah, Dave, we might be struggling with audio quality here in tonight's race, and maybe a little trading paints woes, but picture quality overall looks pretty good. It was a bit of an improvement over what it has typically been.
Yeah, for sure. Stream quality looks really good.
We'll get the rest of those bugs straightened out and have her underway for the final 2 races of the season here. And our final race in the Truck Series coming up Sunday.
Yeah, that's on Sunday.
It's the All-American Racing League Truck Series. Will be headed off to Phoenix for the championship race. Be sure and tune into that one.
Right now, Kerchalak not letting Esri get away. Down to about 0.4 of a second, probably about 5 or 6 car lengths on the track.
Yeah, no, I mean, has definitely started to reel him in a bit. So the good news here for if you're a Dustin Matney fan, he may be able to stay ahead of, for 6 more laps. He's actually been able to hold on a lot better than what I thought. And he may be able to hold on to stay on that lead lap. Even if he went a lap down, which he's getting ready to battle with the 2 for that last car on the lead lap position. As you see the 12 to the inside of the 2, this is for the 9th position, but most importantly for the last car on the lead lap. Now the 88 wants these guys to stay ahead, wants that 2 to now stay ahead of that 22. You can see coming to your picture behind him, that second white car there.
Yeah, I think this time by we got about 4 laps to go in stage number 1. So you're right, Eric Thornton definitely wants the 2 of Tyrone Yo and the 12 of Matney to stay on the lead lap. That would give him the lucky dog and be able to get back around on the lead lap.
So, Dave, I wonder if it's my trading paints having issues or yours, because I have Tyrone's brand new paint job he just finished today.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well. The only car that I think we're not seeing correctly
Is the 22. That's why I'm wondering if he's maybe removed his trading paints and you're seeing an old file.
Yeah, it possibly could.
Just because of Tyrone, he just built that Your Vote Counts machine, the Go Vote car, for today's race. As he is getting ready to go a lap, and then he's got to try to hold on here for 2 more laps.
It doesn't look like he's going to.
No, your leader's to his inside now. This is not what the 88 of Eric Thornton wanted to see happen here. With only 2 laps to go in the stage, that makes Tyrone Yo is currently in the lucky dog position. The 88 is now no longer going to be eligible for that, and he's some 14 seconds behind Tyrone. So unless Tyrone has a catastrophic issue, now the 12 of Matney's going to be in that lucky dog position. So Tyrone Yo is now out of the lucky dog position as another car goes a lap down.
I'm not sure what happened to Matney there.
Yeah, he slowed up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, he got loose off the corner and kind of caught the wall. But we're on the final lap of stage number 1. There's Esri up to his 1.3 second lead over Michael Curtis.
As they come off turn 4 for the final time of this stage. Your winner of stage number 1 is going to be Chris Essery, that number 22 machine, followed by Michael Kurgelak, Kenneth Peck, James Nelson, Curtis Sauber rounding out your top 5, James Bowden, Zulu is 7th, Dustin Matney's 8th with Tyrone Yo 9th, and Eric Thornton rounding out your top 10. Now, with Essery not being eligible for the playoffs, he's not in the round of 8. So really, this stage win isn't giving him, I mean, it's giving him maximum points, but it's really not helping him as far as getting any further in the playoffs because he can't. Michael Kurgelak would be the first guy in the top 8 to score the most points thus far in this race. Made that way more confusing than it had to be, Dave. So we should see all these drivers come down pit road, get fresh tires. I imagine they'll all take fresh tires. They do have 5 sets for this race. So I couldn't see any reason why you would want to stay out on old tires or chance 2 tires here under a yellow flag.
Yeah, there were a couple drivers that did not take tires on their stop. The last time, that would be Tyrone Yo and Eric Thornton. Looked like they came down and just took fuel. Thornton probably took fuel just to try to stay 1 lap down.
The drivers are coming to their pit boxes. Yeah, it looks like 4 tires all the way up and down pit road. 75 is really good at gaining positions leaving pit road. Trouble on the 54, maybe getting some damage repaired there. Still sitting in his pit box. But James Nelson jumped all the way up to the 2nd position through that round of pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, you look at James Nelson, his total pit road time was about a second faster than everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start studying what he does on pit road. He obviously puts his time into it and did a hell of a job there.
But stage number 1 is in the books. That was pretty much all Chris Essery there in stage number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Michael Kurgelak made a late stage push to try to advance his position. Ultimately, able to run with Essery for a while. But then it just seems like his tires just fell off a little more, or maybe he had to use it up a little more to keep running that pace. Just combing through some data here. Yeah, that was an incredible pit lane time. Only driver in the 44-second bracket, period. Or the only team, shall I say. So that means he maximized his time. As soon as he crossed that line, he maximized his speed to the mile an hour, because they only give you like 1 mile an hour over, and you can get yourself in some trouble. And then getting in his box smoothly to a quick stop, aligned his car to where the pit crew didn't have to waste any time getting around the car, because we have learned that if you get in at an angle or kind of funky, too close to one side, it takes them a little longer pit stop. And his team kicked off the fastest pit time by a couple, or by 1/100th of a second, but still, yeah.
But they're crossed over, headed down the backstretch. The lights are out on the pace car. This time by, we're going to kick it off and start stage number 2.
Yeah, once they get in that Geico restart zone, the 22 will have control of the restart. When he smashes on the loud pedal, it's go time for everybody else.
Yeah, so stage number 2 will end at lap 95, I believe, 95.
Pace car's off. Green flag is in the air. Leader, as always in this type of racing, gets a really good jump there. 75 able to maintain some speed, but now the 22 pulling out to 3, maybe 4 car lengths.
Yeah, the 22 waited till late in that restart zone. I think it caught everyone off guard. They kind of bunched up there a little bit on the start. 54 is Sovereign up into the wall there a little bit in turn number 4. Ooh, 54 sideways off of turn number 2. We're going to get that spot up to the 16. Inside of 54. Possibly going to lose 2 spots there.
Chris Essery is your leader by 1 point. I'm sorry, by 0.4 of a second over James Nelson. I don't know where the 1 point came from. James under fire from Kurjalak in the 19.
And now the 75 is going to try the high line.
See if we've got a fender cam on that 75. Maybe. Whoa! That camera had to go inside the wall to get away from it, folks.
Yeah, so 75 on the high side, 19 down low. You know Kurjalak just from racing with Kurjalak. He likes the low line. I believe that's where he ran back with the All-American Racing lead when we ran here.
Yeah, I think you're right. So there were a couple of us run the low side here, and most of the folks went up top
Yeah,
for
but it
that
looks
momentum.
Like low line's going to pay off as he grabs position number 2 away from James Nelson.
Yeah, these tracks change a lot from session to session, though, Dave. I practiced with these guys the other night, and you really couldn't make any time at all on the bottom. And it didn't seem to save you anything over the course of a run either. Ooh. All right, I just had a Dr. Pepper explode on me here. So, let me grab a towel real quick. I'll be right back with you. So, Dave, were you shaking my Dr. Pepper again?
It's just a trick.
If you figured out how to do that from where you are, buddy.
What do you mean? We're sitting side by side in a booth at Homestead, buddy.
Right.
Michael Kerchalak's been able to run down Chris Esther here, bringing with him the 75 and the 16. Top 4 all under a blanket here as they work down through the front stretch into turn number 1.
I'll be curious to see if Esther is able just to pull away again, because he seemed like he saved his stuff a little bit earlier in the first stage, and then was able to turn it on towards the end of the stage when he needed to.
Bumper of the 22. 16 around the outside of the 75. Give the third position to Kenneth Pack.
Yeah, it's kind of fun watching these guys run. You got the top 2 drivers running a distinct lower line, and then as we get a car around in the back, Dustin Matney. To see what happened. To cause that spin there, we got a lot of damage there to the right front. Looks like some suspension damage as well. Let's go back and take a look at this if we can.
Yeah, he got loose.
So that's Matney in the number 12, that yellow and black car there, folks. Get him at speed here. Oh, yeah, the rear end. It's like the nose starts going ahead and turn, and the rear end just comes out from under it hard into the outside wall. That's a broken right front suspension for sure.
Now you should see everybody to pit road this time. About 30 laps to go in stage number 2. So everyone should be down here for 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, they've run 14 laps, so yeah, everybody's going to come down here.
Yeah, you can make it from here on fuel, so everyone should be down. We see Tyrone go around, but he was a lap down. Yeah, I think Tyrone will be the lucky dog.
So we watch the pit stop times here, folks. At the bottom of your screen, you can see those top 5 drivers.
Ooh, Chris Essery with a short stop.
6.3 seconds for Essery.
Zulu with fuel only as well.
Kenneth Pack down for, I don't know about fuel only. I don't think you can.
These drivers,
if you're going to run it out from here, I don't think the tires can handle that.
No, I think, they're thinking to maybe save a set here for the second. That last stage just in case.
What did you get? Was it 2 tires for Pack?
I'll have to go back and look.
I believe it was 2 tires for Pack. And then Kerchalak with 4. Everybody else with 4. So from 4th on back took 4. The top 2 drivers, Essery and Zulu, both chose to do fuel only.
Yeah, it's 2 tires for Pack, but he's coming back.
He's back. Yeah, I mean, he must be coming down to get his other 2 tires. I think he saw all those 4 tires behind him and thought, you know what, it's not that much track position to give up. I may as well be in a comfortable car if I have to do it, He stands a shot to gain spots if he takes the other 2 tires here. If not, he's just going to lose them all over the course of the run, So it's worth it to go ahead and come back in now that everyone else took 4.
Yeah, you're right. Pack came down, put left side tires on that machine.
Tyrone Yo is in.
Yeah, I think that's what these top two are doing, just in case you get a late race caution. Those 4 tires will benefit them. Eric Thornton, I believe, also has an extra set of tires in the pits if he can get himself back on the lead lap.
Now,
So
that was their third pit stop, but, I mean, everyone's only taking 2 sets of tires, right?
yeah, they took this would be their third set.
Well, no, I don't think they took any on the first caution was halfway through. Yeah, they took them at the stage. You're right. This is their third set.
This will be their third set.
So they got less
like
than
I said,
100 laps, and they've got 2 more sets after this. So they're plenty good. I mean, even everyone could save a set for the last 10, 15 laps if something were to come out.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to they're gonna put 4 tires on probably at the end of this stage. That'll limit them to 1 more set, and then they're gonna have to make a stop in that final stage. So I guess, like S3, Zulu, they're thinking, hey, if we get a late race caution after those pit stops in stage 3, maybe with 10, 15 to go, they'll be looking good with the fresher tires.
Yeah, I think they're going to pay the price for this stage, though.
Yeah, we'll see how far they fall back. I don't think they'll lose a lap necessarily, but yeah, they more than likely finish near the back here in stage number 2. But we'll see.
Yeah, they may know something we don't. They could have been maybe taking it easier on their tires.
Zulu's one of those drivers, racing to try to stay in the championship 4 here. So points implications there could make a little bit of a difference.
Now, let's also keep in mind that they ran longest. Tyro and Yo actually ran the longest, but they ran longest on the on their tires earlier, right? So, yeah. and S3 was still able to hold speed.
Here comes Kerjalak up the inside of Zulu. Looks like he's easily going to grab that position. Looks like 4 tires may be helping already. Yeah, Zulu kind of getting gobbled up now, the 75 to his inside as well.
Matney back down pit road.
I don't know, Zulu able to hold off the 75 there on the outside.
Lap 71 of 161 here in the Quick Finishers Racing League. Second race of the round of 8 here at the Get Out the Vote 250 from Homestead, Miami. Heck of a race so far. Just a very small field, but been a heck of a race so far. Chris Esri has dominated the show. Just kind of stunk it up a little, but there's been some passing back through the field, and I think only 1 caution for incident. So been a pretty decent race so far.
Right now, the no tire stop working for Chris Esri. He's out to about 0.3 of a second. We'll see what happens as we go through this run. Working lap 72, stage break will be at 95.
Yeah, that's a long way to go. I mean, that's 25 laps. It's the 19's going to get him. I just don't know how far back he's going to fall.
Zulu, Kenneth Pack, and Bowden had a moment off of turn number 2 to come off the 3 wide, kind of bouncing off each other. Straighten it out there for the time being. Zulu, who took fuel only, started all the way back to 7th.
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about tonight, Dave, drivers and shifting. So this particular track, you can choose to shift or not shift. What are the benefits of one over the other, or maybe the disadvantage to doing one over the other?
I mean, disadvantage. I feel like you're getting into a higher RPM. If you're into a fuel mileage regime, I think that could hurt you on the long haul. I've never been one to like the shift, so each their own. But I know earlier in practice, I could hear Kenneth Pack shifting. I'm not sure if he is right now or not, but I know he was. Down the backstretch.
Ooh, the 54 to the back bumper of the 75. Almost gives him a shot on corner entry. Kurjalak not letting this 22 get out of sight. Holding him within about a car and a half now. Less than 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, I just checked through the field. Looks like everyone is shifting except for possibly Zulu. Zulu is not shifting. Maybe James Bowden as well, but it looks like everyone else is downshifting, getting into the corner.
See, now, myself personally, I only do it if the car gets tight on entry. Like if I lose the nose of the car and I need to get it back, then I may downshift to just kind of help that happen. Or say I miss my corner, I don't get the line I was exactly expecting and I need it to turn a little more. But otherwise, I pretty much stay in fifth. And I think you and I have discussed that quite a bit, that we're two different types of drivers. You like to shift sometimes, and me, I just prefer not to shift if I don't have to.
It looks like the 19's able to close in on Esri. Maybe those fresher tires are starting to show up as we get later here into stage number 2.
Yeah, Esri doing a great job of staying out front here, to be honest. He has a lot more laps on his tires than everyone else. I mean, what, a good 12, 15?
Yeah, at least that many.
Oh, we have one almost around back there. I believe it's Curtis Sovereign. Big moment for Sovereign. We'll go back and check that out. See if we get a. Trying to find that for us. Let's see if this is it here. So we see Curtis in the 54. Let's see what we have on that. Yeah, right there. That was huge. That was huge. A good job of Curtis holding on to it there. He just kind of overcorrected a little bit, and got it all out of shape. So Eric Thornton has his day is done. I just noticed that he was out of the race. He's choosing not to continue here tonight, or unable to continue. We'll finish in P10. Now it looks like Dustin Matney may have just retired from the race as well. Not having a good night tonight. So 8 cars left on the track. Chris Esri is continuing to lead this race. 0.3 of a second now over Michael Kerjelak, James Nelson, Kenneth Pack, James Bowden, Curtis Sauburn, Zoltan, Zulu, and Tyrone Yo. Oh, the 22 gets a wiggle. 22 with a big wiggle. Allows the 19 to close into nearly just a quarter of a second.
The fun part of being up here in the booth, Hillbilly, is being able to see, kind of examine drivers and how they run. Very interesting here between the 22 and the 19. How smooth Chris Esri is. Just very smooth, very consistent.
Big run by the 19. Closes in on the rear bumper. Now looking to the inside of the 22. First time Esri has been challenged all day. Esri able to close the door there. 19 going to slide up the track, try to carry the momentum off.
Yeah, kind of get back to what I was talking about, though. The 19, I was kind of watching him from his in-car camera. When he gets down into the corner, they're both shifting. But the 19, you can hear when he made kind of a abrupt move. Kind of hear all 4 tires squealing. When you watch Esri, he's got such a smooth line and entry into the corner. You don't really hear much tire squeal out of his car at all.
Yeah, and Dave, that may be why he's able to still be up here running in the front of this race with that many more laps on his tires, because he's not scrubbing those tires. He's, like you said, he's kind of gentle in, gentle out, right? Taking it real easy on those tires, but able to maximize the grip and the speed.
Yeah, I think with Kerjelak, like once those tires cool off, he can aggressively move. But I think overall, just the tire scrub, like you said, is really hurting the 19. As you see, like right there, the 19 kind of gets in a lot deeper than the 22, and he kind of misses the center of the corner, and he loses a bunch of time on exit. So right now, if you're the 19, kind of examine here what the 22 is doing. 22 may be a little bit slower on entry, but he's a lot more smooth and consistent through the corner here than the 19.
Yeah, Dave, you're absolutely right. Both will work, but what it's doing is it's creating, I believe, heat cycles on the tires of the 19. What I mean by that is he slides them, gets them hot, and then has to back off, cool them down, and then he's able to run back up to the 22. But then he angers those tires again, and it's like it's give and take with the tire rather than just kind of running them smooth like the 22 is. Because I believe he can use the tire to get the speed to run with Esri, but you can only do that for so long. Is my point. If you slide them once or twice, they're hot. You got to let them cool down. So it's not really tire wear as much at these racetracks as it is tire heat.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm noticing, and this is, we're racers as well, so we kind of pick up on a lot of this stuff. what Esri's doing is he's entering the corner in 5th gear. He's not really getting down to 4th till just before the center of the corner. You kind of hear him downshift to 4th, where the 19, pretty much as soon as he's downshifting to 4th.
Well,
and I've heard a couple times the rear tires chirp.
And that's exactly what it is. He's kind of using the transmission as a brake, in a sense, trying to get the car to rotate that way. Whereas the 22, he's using the power of 4th gear to get off the corner, not to slow himself down going into the corner. And you're right, when he downshifts like that, it's just locking up those rear tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much. It's every once in a while you kind of hear that little
Whoa,
chirp.
big move. Big loose there. Almost choked on that one.
Yeah, definitely that smoothness out of the 22 is what's kind of propelling him here. To maintain the lead with the older tires. It's impressive and fun to watch it.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, what it does is it kind of teaches us up here in the booth, some things we may need to work on or at least to be watching for in our own driving. That's for sure. I'm always a student of this esport. You know what I mean? Always a student. If I can learn anything.
We're coming to 1 to go in stage number 2. It's gone by that fast, Hillbilly. 1 to go.
1 to go for Chris Esri. And then number 22 going to lock up the stages. He wins the first 2 here. Michael Kurgelak currently running in that 2nd position. He's a little over a second back. 3rd place, James Nelson. Got about a half second to catch that Michael Kurgelak, but not going to get it done. Chris Esri leads off turn 4 and will win stage number 2. Michael Kurgelak finishes 2nd with James Nelson in 3rd. Kenneth Pack will be 4th. James Bowden rounding out your top 5. Curtis Salburn 6th. 7th will be Zulu. 8th is Tyrone Yo Jr. Dustin Matney and Eric Thornton have retired from the race and will finish 9th and 10th, respectively.
Yeah, so 2 stages, 2 wins for Chris Esri, 2 second-place finishes in the stages for the 19 of Michael Kurgelak, sorry. Kurgelak's sitting here thinking, what do I have to do to beat the 22 here in the final stage?
Well, it's not like the other stages we've been to, though, Dave. You don't carry any bonus points for winning a stage to the next round with you like you would any other point in time in the playoffs or the regular season. However, it's 1 more point than what you would have scored on the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's just only helping. These stage points are helping kind of position themselves to try to secure a spot in the championship 4. But yeah, you're right. Nothing carries over. The final 4 will be dead even, and the best driver will win it.
Yeah, as we take a look at the points again, though, we're talking about that. You've got James Bowden just finishing in the top 5 there. That's going to gain him a couple of spots with James Nelson finished behind, or actually just in front of him. So may have lost a point to James Nelson there, but it's going to be interesting to see how these points shake out. They're just so close together. I wish we had some kind of real-time point system. Unfortunately, we do not. But nonetheless, tight battle, and every point is going to count, folks. That was the point of my rant. All right, as pit stops are underway, let's see what the times are like this time through, Dave. Esri with a 14.8 second pit stop, 44 seconds on pit road. Esri's team getting it done that time. He was the fastest team on pit road, I believe. So we're going to start the 3rd and final stage here in the Get Out and Vote 250. Don't forget, Election Day is Tuesday. If you can't get out and early vote, well, this weekend, then be sure and be there on Tuesday. cast your vote. Every vote's going to count. Every vote's going to be needed here, folks, to put this country in the way we want it to be. So the way the majority wants it to be, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if we can get Curtis Sauber in the booth here, Dave. Real quick, like. Did we miss our opportunity? Hey, Dave.
Let's see. Sorry, I stepped away for just
Oh,
a
okay.
second.
I'll pull him in. Curtis, Dave in the booth. You got us?
How you doing, boys?
Buddy, we cut in here a little bit late on you, but wanted to let you go ahead and take the fans at home through a lap or two here at Homestead, Miami. Let us know what's going on when you can.
Alrighty. Name of the game for me, myself, is to get to the high side as soon as possible. I don't know how these guys are doing on the bottom. I can't hold it.
Cart pretty slick out there.
Oh yeah, I can't keep it out of the wall. Way harder than what we've been practicing all week. Get up to the gears here. Up to fifth. Alright, now that everything's kind of calmed down, so here you kind of just try to lift early. Let it carry a little bit to the wall. Half throttle, and that'll try to keep full throttle right here. You get a huge run on the top side. Try not to hit Kenneth. That's the lap, boys. It's slick, hot. I don't want to be here.
Man, that's awesome. It looks fun out there, though. Go enjoy yourself, buddy. Try to.
I'm gonna try.
All right, we'll see you. We'll talk to you later. All right, that was a lap or two around the track with Curtis Sauber, that number 54 Monster Energy Chevrolet. He said he didn't want to be there, Dave.
It doesn't sound like he's enjoying his time here in Homestead, Miami.
Right on that left rear bumper of the 16. I mean, ay.
He hits the right rear that time with the 16.
Yeah, he's not playing, is he?
Up into the wall.
Oh, as we're riding on the rear gearbox here of the 16, we saw the 54 just flash into screen there. Told you it was some close racing between the two. So we ride on board with Kenneth Pack. It's contact with the rear bumper of the 16. He's gonna do it again. He must be watching himself on as he's right to the rear bumper of the 16 inside the 55. Oh my. Trying to find another camera, folks. He did. He must be watching at home and did not want to disappoint, and he did not disappoint. Chris Essery's your leader by 0.4 of a second over Michael Kerjlak. And James Nelson is third. Under fire now. Actually trying to get around Michael Kerjlak. Battle for P2. Essery appears to be maintaining the gap, I believe, Dave.
Yeah, I think Essery's kind of been doing that all night long.
Yeah, I mean, don't run any harder than you have to stay out front. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he can look in his mirror. He sees how hard these drivers are running behind him. There's no sense to push hard right here.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that he's not shifting now. So maybe it's just late in the run. He's starting to use fourth gear more.
Yeah, quite possibly.
To help get up off the corner when those rear tires start getting a little harder to hook up. I mean, it's going to give you more torque, but if you can baby it, you can get it going quicker on the straightaway. I'm going to step away for just a moment, Dave. I'm going to leave you with our leaders. Leave you with James Nelson there. All right, I'm back with you here.
Yeah, this battle for second, third, fourth, has been a little wild here. I'll step away.
Well, that's good. I left the camera in the right place then.
Yeah, it's still side by side, at times 3 wide. Yeah, it's been fun right here. 16 to Kenneth Pack trying to stay out in front of the 19 to Kerjlak.
Yeah, the 75 really hasn't lost these guys either. They haven't walked off away from him or anything once they got around him.
And we thank you, Catalan, for joining us each and every week. Thanks for the kind words. We definitely enjoy bringing you the action here and letting you see what Zulu does. Zulu not having the greatest of runs here tonight, sitting back there in the 7th position.
Battle's still ongoing here for P2.
Yeah, looks like Kerjalak finally out on top ahead of the 16 to Kenneth Pack. Trying to run back down the 22 now, Chris Essery. And I mean, Essery's just kind of been on cruise control all night long here, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody can step up and try to run him down here in the closing laps of this one.
I mean, it's really hard to tell how much he's used his stuff. Like you say, he's very, very smooth, and I just don't know that he's been even pushing it.
Yeah, it seems like anytime someone gets to his bumper, he kind of steps it up a little bit, gets that lead back. Yeah, we'll see what Kerjalak can do here.
Beautiful sunny day here in Homestead, Miami, Florida. 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Track's cooling down a bit, Dave, down to 98 degrees. So maybe helping with a little bit of the grip. Probably not, but maybe helping a little bit with grip in these cars. See some of the lap times at the line. S3 runs a 66, while Kerjalak runs a 76. So Kerjalak about a tenth slower, and then it really falls off from there on back. So he did the same thing there, Dave. S3 kind of backed up. I mean, he maintained it till Kerjalak got up to him, and then once Kerjalak got to him, he just started pulling away again.
Essery now out to 0.8 of a second over Kerjalak. Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference I see here is, Essery's kind of holding a nice solid line through the corner, where kind of watch Kerjalak, it's not quite as tight and as smooth. Looks like Kerjalak had a good turn 2 right there. It just seems like he kind of loses the nose there in 3 and 4.
He's lost quite a bit of time to Essery. Now 1.4 seconds back. Still, a lot of laps to go. There's 39 laps to go in this race, so it's a long way to go. It's going to be coming down to pit stops here shortly, and you're going to have some decisions to make. Do you try to run long here and maybe just take 2 tires or splash, and get enough fuel to get to the end, or do you cut it in half and take the tires?
I think you come in. I would say these drivers are kind of going to come in here in the next 5 to 10 laps. I think it's going to be 4 tires. I think you've got to put 4 tires on it here.
Tyrone Yo says go vote. And that's exactly what we're here to promote, is getting out to vote. So this is, that was a mouthful. This is the Get Out and Vote 250 Homestead Miami Speedway for the Quick Finishers Racing League, race number 2 of the round of 8. Got to get in on points, got to get in on points, got to get in on points. No one, so we had a first-time winner last week, so no one got through this round, so, you know, in the first race on a win. So that automatically makes it where two drivers will get in on points. Even if a playoff driver wins tonight, the 2 still get in on points. Yes, 2 will get in on points. If a newcomer or someone outside of the top 8 wins tonight, then you get 3 cars in the top 8 or top 4 on points. At the very least. It sounded better up here in this head, folks. I just couldn't get the words out right. '53 and James Bowden working on this 16, trying to take away the 4th spot from Kenneth Pack.
Yeah, James Bowden, one of those drivers sitting on the outside of the top 4 here, on point. So. Trying to make the best of what he can get tonight.
I can't remember where he finished in stage 1, but I know he finished 5th in stage 2. So capitalized on some points there for sure. If he can end it off with a good finish here, then that'll definitely go a long way towards trying to point your way in. The hard part is, Dave, when you have a small field like this, you don't have a whole lot of folks that aren't in the championship hunt. Therefore, it's hard to gain. You're not going to gain 10 or 15 points on a driver in a race when there's only 10 drivers and 8 of them are in the playoffs, right? Because no matter, they're going to finish somewhere close to you. They're going to get stage points, and they're going to have a finish somewhere around you. So it's really hard to gain a whole lot here. With just a few cars left. But that's what happens in iRacing a lot of times toward the end of the season, towards the end of the playoffs. You start only having playoff drivers able to show up.
Yeah, with the small field like that, definitely tougher to climb there for someone like James Bowden and that 53. But James Bowden's car kind of coming on late here as he's worked his way around Kenneth Pack, so he moved up to 4th and trying to run down James Nelson there for the 3rd position. I would expect to start to see some pit stops here in the next few laps. They'll last on lap 97.
Just as you said it, Dave.
Yeah, our leader, Chris Essery, on pit road.
Yep, just as you said it, he brings it to pit road.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some of these front runners follow suit here in the next lap or 2.
This is where you're going to need to have a good pit stop. Right sides are up on the 22. Yeah, they're not going to stay out long. These guys are going to start pouring in, I would imagine. 4 tires for the 22. James Nelson is in.
Yeah, so Kerjelak's going to have to come here soon. I think he's just going to give too much time up to the 22.
Yeah, fresh tires are going to mean a whole lot. And his pit lane time was a 43.52 that time, Dave. Incredible. The last ones were like in the 45s and 46s for everybody. 44s. He just ran a 43 or did a 43.52. So great job there. James Nelson's had quick pit lane times all night, but runs up 44.25 that time. So right there, he lost 3/4 of a second to Essery just on the pit exchange. Kerjelek is your leader, trying to put a lap on this 22 machine. As Zulu is in, so is...
Zulu's in. Kerjelek is coming to pit road.
Yep, Curtis Sauber is on pit road. James Bowden is on pit road. All getting their stops completed now. 4 tires for Zulu. Curtis Sauber getting his 4 tires put on. Kenneth Pax into his box. 50. Oh, Kenneth slides through his box, has to back up. That's going to be costly for old Podium Pack tonight. Here with less than 30 laps to go in the get out and vote 250. Michael Kerjelek is off.
Yeah, so Kerjelek gave up a ton of time there to
4
Essery.
seconds. More than 4 seconds.
Just
5
by waiting
seconds.
a couple laps longer.
Wow.
Gave up a ton of time.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, he's the only other drivers, to get a 43. Well, he and Zulu both got 43. Kerjelek, let's see, S3 was a 43.52 pit lane time. Kerjelek was a 43.75 to Zulu's 43.82. And then everyone else was 44 and above. So Kerjelek gave up all that time on speed.
Yeah, because right now the gap back to Kerjelek is over 6.5 seconds.
Tyrone Yo is on his way down pit road. That should turn the lead back over to Chris Essery. By, like you say, 6.7 seconds now. 6.6 over Kerjelek. So, Dave, with, 26 laps to go, or whatever's left here, if you're Essery, I just baby the thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can kind of do what he wants. I know he's got an extra set of tires in the pits too, where some of these drivers do not. So he can kind of just do what he wants here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I go out there and try to burn them up, because then you stand a bigger chance of knocking the wall down, right? I mean, he hasn't had a misstep all night long, but you still run that chance if you're trying to run really fast laps. So
yeah, I think he's going to drive conservatively here. He's been running the bottom pretty much all night. So I don't think he's in risk of running the wall down in the middle of the corner. It's going to be, maybe if he gets a little loose, the car steps out on him off the corner. But I'm sure he's just going to run some conservative laps here. There's no sense to, like you said, tear a wall down while you're leading with a 6-second lead.
Well, he just runs a 33.75 to Michael Kerjelek's 33.44. So, or 45, I guess you could say. So,
yeah, Curtis Sauber just ran the fastest lap of the race.
The tire race. Yeah. Pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, so you can definitely see Essery has backed it off. He's 0.3 slower than Kerjelek at the moment. Which I think he's smart by doing so. I mean, he's still 5.9 seconds, 6 seconds up. Yeah, 6 seconds up on Kerjelek right here if you look at the battle box. And if you can run 2 or 3 tenths slower, what does it matter? If he starts to pick up speed, then you just pick it up a little bit. But I wouldn't take any chances at all.
Yeah, just 23 laps to go now.
As always, here at SimWorld Racing Network, we do appreciate you tuning in for the show here on the Quick Finishers Racing League. Seasons are winding down in both QFRL and the All-American Racing League, AARL. But we've had a heck of a season with you guys. We've got a few more races left, so don't worry about it. We'll be here again next Friday night racing at Martinsville. So if you want to tune in for that. We have the Truck Series, All-American Racing League Truck Series running here on Sunday night, right here on SimWorld Racing Network. And then on Tuesday, I believe, we're running the All-American Racing League Cup Series. So,
so both the trucks and Cup Series over there running their championship races.
Yep. So that's going to be interesting, just to see who's going to be the champion, who's taking home that lovely trophy. And then we've got just a few more weeks, and we'll be doing the same thing right here on Quick Finishes Racing League. You never know, folks. We may host a race or two and broadcast one here or there over the off season, but looks like we'll be getting started back up with the All-American Racing League. Same time NASCAR does, I believe. That's right, Dave.
Yeah, sometime in February.
So it'll be a couple of months.
Off season, yes.
Yep. But we never stop racing, so you never know if you catch something here. So be sure and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But ring the notification bell just in case something comes up that you might want to tune in and watch some good racing. You never know what's going to happen here on the SimWorld Racing Network. Just like you never know what we're going to say, you never know what's going to happen. Heck, we don't even know what we're going to say most of the time. Is that right, Dave?
And I think that's correct. Sometimes we want to say something and our brain and mouth just doesn't let us say it.
I have had a lot of that going on. I think blah, 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 blah is like my go-to line here. Some kind of mumbling. $18 laps to go here in the Get Out and Vote 250. It's coming close to an end. Chris Essery has just mopped the floor with the competition tonight. I don't know what else to say. It's been very, very impressive in this number 22 Ford. Sets on the pole. Leads every lap that he's on track. I mean, he lost a few laps there in the pit cycles, but otherwise has led this thing from the drop of the green flag. Very impressive run. Kurgelak was able to battle with him for a while. Through the pit exchange, it looks like Kurgelak lost quite a bit of time. I don't know if it was all because of the extra couple of laps that he stayed out, or if maybe he slowed a little more than Kurgelak coming to the pit line. And then, getting off once you leave the cone. But his pit lane time was, they were close. They were within a tenth or two.
Yeah, Kurgelak just gave up a bunch of time by staying out those couple extra laps. Essery was able to really, Essery went by him before Kurgelak made his pit stop. So he lost a bunch of time there.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if it was the laps on tires that made the difference. I know it made some difference, right? But we're talking 6 seconds. That's why I'm thinking maybe Kurgelak didn't maximize his speed getting down to pit road, because the pit lane time that we show that are almost, they're very close together, was from the time you enter pit lane's cone till you leave its cone. Right? So just on pit lane. So if he would have slowed up maybe a little more getting in, was a little more conservative getting in, could have lost some of the time there, or maybe even more conservative getting back up to speed on the fresh tires. There's a number of reasons why, but I think that the tires played into it. I just don't know that they played into it 6 seconds over 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, also, I think Essery was out almost 2 seconds before the pit stop, so you're kind of taken off there from the 19, so he probably lost overall 4 to 5 seconds.
Bowden, after getting up into the 4th position, kind of comfortably running right there, about 6-8 car lengths behind the 75 of Nelson. Been running some identical lap times to Nelson. They both ran 33.91s the last time by. Fastest car on the track at the moment is second place Michael Kurgelak. Just unfortunately for Kurds, he's some 3 seconds, or I'm sorry, excuse me, 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds behind Essery.
Yeah, it was down to about 5 seconds, but Essery's kind of picked up his pace just a little bit. Kind of matching times a little bit more closely with Kurgelak.
The laps are winding down here in the Get Out and Vote 250. I want to remind you folks, if you are in the Charlestown, West Virginia area, AutoServe's been sponsoring this number 75 machine of James Nelson all season long. AutoServe's been a great partner here at the Quick Finishers Racing League, sponsoring quite a few races here. So be sure to check them out, show them some love, show your car some love, for Pete's sake. I mean, you're in the Charlestown, West Virginia area anyway. If you're in the Charleston, West Virginia area, take a drive up to Charlestown. Get up there, change your plugs, drive back. Be a great deal. Anyway, call them first to make sure that they have some time and availability, but it's AutoServe in Charlestown, West Virginia. Ten laps to go in the race. Let's go through the field, starting with your leader, Chris Essery. Chris Essery, the number 22 Ford, pretty much comes out here and kicks butt on a regular basis when he's in the races. He's usually doing pretty good. Very talented driver here. Led almost all the laps tonight. I would say at least 90% of them. But number 22 behind him, we have Michael Kurgelak in that number 19 Ford, butt kicker Ford. Been running up in the second position. Got a few good runs on the Essery. Lost some time during a green flag pit stop. Unfortunately, a cycle there and got behind a bit. James Nelson running in that third spot. Just was up front with Kurgelak for a while. And he and I think it was Kenneth Pack battling it out for a while. James Nelson, that number 75 AutoServe machine. Then you come back to James Bowden, the Artemis Esports number 53 Ford. That's a lot of Fords in the top four. I mean, like all the top four are Fords. Then you get back to the Chevrolet of Kenneth Pack. Kenneth out of Greer, South Carolina. It's the American Heart Association Prisma Health machine. Chevrolet, their first Chevy in the field in fifth. Get Zulu running the pink and black Toyota. Had a pretty decent night. I mean, he's running the top 6 or 7 all night long. Hasn't really had an opportunity to be up front. I think he was up front after saving some tires. If he could get a caution right now, he's got that extra set of tires in there. Might work out for him, but I don't know if we're going to see a caution with 6 laps to go here. Curtis Sahlgren in the number 54 Monster Energy Chevrolet out of Hudson, North Carolina. Curtis not really having the night he wanted to have here. Not having a good time. We talked to him earlier, and I think he just didn't want to be here in Miami, Dave. Tyrone Yo currently running a lap down in the Go Vote number 2 Chevrolet. Tyrone not really having the race he wanted either, but as Tyrone does, Tyrone out there maintaining and actually gaining spots. I mean, he finished ahead of Dustin Matney, who has retired from the event, and Eric Thornton, who has retired from the event.
Well, this time by, just 5 laps to go here for Chris Essery.
Yeah, still maintaining that 5.9 to 6 second, 6 second time frame or gap over Michael Kurgelak. Right now, you're still in cruise control in that number 22 machine. You're in the 19. I think at this point, you're just you're doing the same thing. 6 seconds is too much to make up. You're just trying to maintain. Don't lose any time to the 75 behind you. But at 75, he's letting it eat, and so is this 53. That's probably our closest battle on track. Is between Nelson and Bowden right now at about 3/4 of a second. Bowden just waiting for Nelson to slip up into the wall just a little bit. If that happens, he can try to capitalize on that, take that position away, puts himself into third, and frankly, both of these guys are below the cut line, separated by a couple points coming into this race. So Bowden wants to finish ahead of the 75 if he can, because that'll mean more points towards on his side towards trying to advance to that Final Four next week at Martinsville. And we know what to expect at Martinsville, don't we, Dave?
Yeah, mayhem.
Mayhem at Martinsville. So that should be interesting to see. So, I mean, you could be in good shape in points. And we know if Esri wins like we suspect he's going to 2 laps from now, that's going to be a non-playoff driver winning the race. That means we know that at least 3 drivers are getting through on points. So if you go to Martinsville, more people show up, which I'm pretty sure they're going to. You stand an opportunity of, I was just thinking, Curtis Sauburn is going to miss Martinsville next week. Final lap for the number 22 Esri. This just in. He's going to the racetrack. Oh, no, they're going to miss the truck race. He's not going for the weekend. Never mind. Got everybody excited. I was thinking about him going for the weekend, but he was just talking about the truck race. I had to think about the conversation a little more. All right, forget everything I just said. Final lap here. Chris Esri is your winner. As I was talking, comes to the start-finish line. Your winner is the number 22, Chris Esri. Michael Kerjelak going to bring it home in second. James Nelson coming across the line to finish in your top 3. Let's see if we can get James Nelson in here for an interview, Dave.
Switch screens. Hey, James, Dave in the booth. You get us?
What's going on?
Hey, you survived Miami? Or was this Homestead, Miami, correct? Homestead, Miami. Sounds right. So coming home in P3, so good run there for you and your auto serve Ford. How'd it go tonight, buddy?
Man, I ran about 800 practice laps and didn't figure out the fast line until a third of the way through the race. But no, it was great. It worked out well. Unfortunately, Curtis had some problems, so I know I made up some points on him. And that was my goal tonight, was to just get the gap as small as possible, give me a chance at Martinsville. Looks like we're going to live to fight another day.
Yeah, man. I mean, good run, good finish for that car there. It was just a different kind of race. A lot of green flag runs. The track seemed really, really slick. We were watching pit stops and pit lane times. That was fun to watch, man. You are very, very good at getting on and off pit road. Is that something you practice a lot?
It is, actually. I've put a ton of work into that.
Well, man, you definitely turned some pretty quick pit lane times tonight. That was some of the closest battles were right there, to be honest. No, but every pit stop sequence there were battles for pit lane time for sure. But good job on that end. Good job getting a P3 here, heading off into the final race. I don't know where this puts everybody in points, to be honest, with the small field. So I know you were just below that cut line trying to fight your way back in there, man, and good finish on the night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Like you said, the auto surfer was fast. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to next week. We'll see what happens at the short track.
All right, buddy. We're going to go ahead and send you back to celebrate, and we'll hopefully talk to you next week.
Sounds good, bud. Thank you.
Yep. That was James Nelson in the number 75 auto serve Ford finishing in the 3rd position. See if we can get a word with Mr. Michael Kurgelak.
Birds, David the booth, you got us?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man, I know that's not really where you wanted to finish. I know you'd love to grab that win, but good job finishing in 2nd. Looks like you finished 2nd in both stages and 2nd in the race, so kind of getting the best points you could there out of all the playoff drivers. So looked like just a kind of a tough racetrack to kind of get a hold on tonight.
Oh yeah, it was super hard track tonight. I did a lot of practicing on it, but it didn't matter how much practice you had on this track. It was very tough. But I just tried my best to stay in front of James and Curtis, and it was a good win on the 22. He dominated.
So, we were kind of noticing and taking note of what was going on with the driving styles of you and Essery, right, in comparison to one another. We noticed that you seem to drive it in a lot harder and downshifting under higher RPM, whereas he was taking it in slower and able to accelerate up off, not shifting to late corner or whatever. But do you think that maybe the tire wear, were you driving more aggressively than he was? Or you think maybe it was the tire heat management or something that caused him to have that speed later on?
I would say I'm probably driving it in too hard, to be honest. He definitely had more control on that. That probably hurt me because it probably did raise my temperature on my tires a lot. But that's why I tried to stay on the bottom the whole race, because I knew if I stayed at the top, I was going to melt them off or just put too much heat in there. But I tried to learn as much as I can by following him. But yeah, I was just going in harder, and he was definitely beating me off coming off the corner.
Hey, one last question: what color was his car tonight?
What I see is the Joey Logano yellow.
Okay. All right. Yeah. For whatever reason, I couldn't get his to load, so I figured I'd ask you since you got a good shot of him there. A third party. My fault, man. No. Congratulations on a P2, buddy. Going into the final race of this round. So congratulations on P2. Floor's yours. Anybody you want to shout out?
I just want to say thank you to sponsors, to Dave, and to Chris for a good win, man, and thanks for coming out tonight, and everybody that came out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, listen, hopefully we're talking to you next week in Martinsville, bud, and we'll send you back to celebrate.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that was Michael Kurgelak in the number 19 Ford finishing in P2 tonight. Had a very, very quick car, and it just seemed that on the longer run, Essery was able to maintain the tire wear. I think a little bit, or maybe tire heat, like we were discussing earlier. So that's why I wanted to ask him about it, if he felt like he was driving in harder, or was Essery just able to get off the corner better. But anyway, let's talk to the man himself, Chris Essery, the number 22 Ford, your winner of the Get Out and Vote 250 here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Hey, Chris, Dave in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, congrats on the win. Pretty much domination from our point of view. Won both stages, win the race.
Settle the pole.
Yeah, so congrats on the win. I noticed you pretty much ran the bottom all night. Was that just what felt comfortable for you?
Yeah, ever since being on iracing here at Homestead, I've always just believed in the bottom. Sometimes it works out for me, sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part, I like the bottom on any car.
So I've only got one question for you. Could you not have just led all the laps, man? No, man. I mean, you would have as the pit cycle, so I'm just messing with you, but what I really want to ask, the serious question, were you kind of were you saving tire a lot in the run and just managing the gap to the second place driver? Because a lot of times we'd see them kind of run you down, and then you would just pull away by a couple seconds. Then they'd run you down again, and then you just pull away. And then, of course, the last pit cycle worked out better for you, obviously, pitting a couple laps earlier. But is that were you saving a lot of tire throughout the runs?
At first, I wasn't like specifically trying to do anything different, but I found out in the first stage that if I run 15, 18 laps and then start shifting in the corners, that's when I would drop 2/10 later. So when you see them catch me, I'm not shifting. I believe they were, and then I would start shifting, and I'd still have my rear tires for that drive off the corner later in the run.
Oh yeah, all right. That makes good sense. That definitely makes sense to what we were seeing from up here in the sky too, man. But listen, another great win. When you come out here, you like to win, and you do a good job at it. So and always very humble. So congratulations on winning the Get Out and Vote 250. Get out and vote, folks. Get out and vote. But no, floor is yours. Shout out anybody you want to shout out.
I should give a shout out to my brother crew chief and me. He made all the calls on coming in early at the end and staying out a little bit later, where I was able to come out in front of the leaders. He really did it for me. And shout out to all the guys. It's fun racing with these guys. These guys are getting better each week. And shout out to you guys for the great broadcast.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, you going to be here next week at Martinsville?
Yes, I love Martinsville. I think I'm going to let them duke it out at Phoenix, but I will be here from Martinsville.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, listen, hopefully we'll be talking to you next week at Martinsville as well. We'll go ahead and send you back to celebrate, but congratulations again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right, that was Chris Essery, your winner tonight of the Get Out and Vote 250 for the Quick Finishers Racing League Cup Series, race number 2 of the round of 8. That was the number 22 Ford. Chris Essery finishing in first. Kenneth Pack is second. Curtis Auburn finished in the 3rd position. Wait a minute. I am looking at the wrong results. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the people we talked to. There we are. Sorry about that, folks. I was rereading the qualifying. Chris Essery is your winner tonight. Michael Kurgelak finishes second. James Nelson finishes in 3rd. I mean, that's the guys we just talked to. James Bowden finishes in the 4th position. Good run for James tonight. Kenneth Pack finishing in 5th. Zulu finishing in the 6th position with Curtis Auburn in 7th. Tyrone Yo in 8th. Dustin Matney 9th. And Eric Thornton out early, finishing in the 10th position. Dave, I don't know what to say, man. It was Homestead. It was Miami. It was hot. It was slick. It looked like a lot of fun out there to me, but yet some guys don't like it. Some guys do like it. I know the one guy really likes the place is Chris Essery for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Homestead, typically always puts on good racing. I like the multiple grooves around this racetrack. It seems like the outside works for a little bit, and I think, like you heard from Kurgelak and Essery, you kind of burn your stuff up on the high side. But yeah, having the multiple grooves, especially early on, creates some really good racing. So it's always fun coming here. But next week, going to one of my favorite tracks there at Martinsville. So it'll be different to not be in the seat at Martinsville. Kind of sit up above and watch
the chaos.
Mayhem.
Yes.
Yeah, the chaos all night long. So
the blimp shots are beautiful. Blimp shots are beautiful at Martinsville. It's a lot better under the lights if there was lights going on, but
Yeah, so we'll expect to have quite a few cautions, I'm sure, at Martinsville. Maybe not if we get a smaller field. Maybe it'll be a little bit more mellow, a little tame.
Oh
but,
man, don't be ruining it
we'll see
for
what
us,
happens.
Dave. Don't put that bad mojo on us. We're gonna see plenty of mayhem, folks. But anyway, be sure to tune into that next Friday. Tune in Sunday again for the All-American Racing League Truck Series finale at Phoenix. We're gonna crown a champion in our Truck Series. And then on Tuesday, you can go out and vote first, and then you can stop over and finish off the night watching us instead of that boring television in the All-American Racing League Cup Series as we hit Phoenix for the final race of the season and then crown a champion there.
We'll be crowning a champion over there and maybe choosing a new president. Well, we will be choosing a new president Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday morning. We'll see how that works out. So be a fun night.
All right. Well, for the SimWorld Racing Network and us up here in the